Everyone, so I promised to put together a video talking about final costs of a 380 square foot ADU that we just finished, and what I thought I would do with this same video would be include some other options if you were not going to, say, DIY build it yourself, but you were going to owner builder, use that approach. So you would actually be managing the labor or hiring your own subcontractors, and then another price if you were to hire the same ADU out to a general contractor. So let's go ahead and take a look at the spreadsheet that I have here. Cost to build up to a 500 square foot ADU as of March 2022, and here in San Diego. Now, you know, the pricing for building materials and labor has been pretty volatile this last year and continues now. So some of these prices might be a little bit higher because of the cost of materials, but in the DIY column there, the green one, that's the actual cost that we spent from June 2021 till about February 2022 when we finished. So just taking a look at the different elements here. Construction docks, that's going to be the very first item that you're going to have to undertake. And so if you can do those docks yourself, or say, for example, you choose to use some of the pre-approved plans that are made available through like the city of Encinitas or the county of San Diego, you can use those and save yourself quite a bit of money. However, you still have to have some sort of understanding about the submittal process and what your city's planning department requires, because those plans are not ready. So even though the information is there, you're still going to have to adapt them for your specific project. So if you're going to have a skilled draftsperson do that, I put a number in there, $7,900. I think that's a very realistic number to have someone prepare your construction documents and also to submit them for you and make sure that you can walk them through the process with the city. If you're the owner builder, I think you'd be able to do it the same. You just hire that out. If you do hire a general contractor, well, he's probably going to charge a little bit more for his involvement. And then if you see over here, I have the skilled draftsperson between $5,500 and $9,500. Now, I'd be cautious of anything on the lower end, because I've seen some of their plans, and they might get you a permit, but they're going to be very difficult if you're having subcontractors bid off of them, or if they're not complete. And then also, if you're using a licensed architect, we'll expect that you could pay 15 or more thousand for that entire process, but you're going to get a much better set of plans as well as a design, probably by using a licensed architect. Now, your permits, I would anticipate between 6 and 15,000. So I put 9,000 in here kind of as a median number. The 14,600 is what we actually paid. But if you've seen other videos, it's because we had some non-conforming square footage on our current residence. We wanted to clean all that up. And in doing so, that kicked us into a higher square footage category. So it incurred that we would pay for the water and sewer fees as well as school fees and some other things. So that was our actual costs. Yours may vary, but I put 9,000 in there for the owner builder as well as the general contractor. Normally he's not going to tack on for that. He'll just pass on the cost to you, and you'll pay the city directly. So for site works, that's demolition, dump fees, trenching, utility connections. Also, if you're going to have subcontractors, you're going to want a toilet, and the city will require best management practices, the BMPs. So you're going to have silt fences or straw wattles, things like that, to keep the site clean from spilling over into, say, the street. Framing costs, this is just your wood, lumber, hardware, and sheathing. Owner builder, that's going to include labor. General contractor will include the same labor with his markup. For siding, you probably will use stucco, but you could use some sort of hardy sheet siding. So I think your pricing is going to be about in there, about $5,000 in materials, and then you're going to have some labor. Roofing, MEP. Now that's your mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, and that includes, say, if you're going to use a split unit system, 1 or 2 heads. We use 2 heads in ours, so we had a 12,000 BTU as well as a 6,000 in the bedroom. So you have that cost, but it gets quite a bit higher if you're doing your own. I mean, if you're not doing the installation, which may or may not be able to do. Drywalls here, millworks includes your cabinets, countertop, closet, and also your baseboards and things like that. So that number you actually have some flexibility in, because you could go much lower and do a very simple kitchenette, or you can get pretty fancy. So these were the actual costs that we spent, and then I've got some costs in there. Appliances, that's for a fridge, range, dishwasher, hot water heater, washer and dryer, as well as a garbage disposal. Finishes, flooring, tile, paint, your ceiling, and all those things. I've got that all in here. And then paving and fences. So at the end of your project, you're likely going to want to put some sidewalks in, or a patio, some fence and gates and things like that. So grand total for the 380 square foot unit that we built was $94,403. And like I said, it's up to 500 square feet, because I think basically anything between that 3 and 500 is going to be very close, because you have all the same fixed costs. You have a kitchen, you have your plumbing, electrical, your permitting, and all those things. It's basically the same. So the square footage isn't going to vary that much. Once you get over 500, obviously it would come down per square foot, but then your total costs will likely go up. So I wouldn't get too carried away with cost per square foot with these small ADUs. They are quite costly, because there's so many. You're basically getting an entire house, even though it's on a very small footprint. So a lot of people kind of expect that they would get the same costs as if they were building a 2,000 or 3,000 square foot house per square foot, and it just does not work that way, unfortunately. So I would anticipate, if you're going to build it yourself, you're going to do all the labor, you can probably get it in the low 200 per square foot range. If you're going to hire out a lot of the labor, then expect somewhere in this $500 range. And then if you're going to hire a general contractor, well, obviously he's going to probably have a 10 to 20% markup. So hopefully this is helpful. I realize that it's a volatile time to be building, but housing prices and also are reflecting that. So I wouldn't be too scared off by it. The sooner you start the process, the sooner you get the project built, and then you can start renting it out. And I think, as we all know, the rental market right now is incredible. So something this size, less than 500 feet, can probably get you close to $2,000 a month, or even more, depending on your location and other amenities. So hopefully this is helpful. If you have questions, go ahead and post them. I'd be happy to get back to you about some more specifics. And I have other videos where I kind of walk through all of these different phases of the project, so there's quite a bit you can learn from that. So hit the subscribe button if you would like to see future videos, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks.